3. You going now?
Yep.
Okay, welcome to Gold's Garage. So today we're back at Waters Dyno Service in Springfield, Ontario. And Daryl Waters is the dyno owner and operator again. And the purpose of this video is to demonstrate and document the startup and dyno test of this beautiful Pontiac GTO engine. This belongs to John Stacey. And a couple weeks ago I made a video back in my shop at Gold's Garage, and we started it up, broke in the flat tappet camshaft, fixed all the leaks, and we could have put the engine in the car from there at that point because it was ready to run. The dyno test is better. So the first thing is we broke in the cam. The next time I make a video about that, I'm going to provide a lot more information about how to properly break in a flat tappet camshaft. The birth of a flat tappet camshaft is like the birth of a baby. If it survives the first 20 minutes, it'll probably have a long and happy life. But that's very important to get the first 20 minutes right. So I'll provide detail about that. So John could have just put this engine in his car, and here's what would have happened. Today when we put it on the dyno, it started and run just like it did when we brought it here. The timing was set, the carburetor was set, but we couldn't load the engine. First time we loaded the engine, we found a problem in the brand new electronic distributor, and we had to fix that. All the leaks were fixed before we got here, and then we made some dyno pulls. So there's 4 good reasons to dyno the engine. Number 1 reason is breaking the piston rings. Even though I ran the engine on my test stand back at Gold's Garage, I can't load it and put torque on it. You can only break in the piston rings by putting torque on it. And Daryl can do that in a controlled way. The next reason is the ultimate torture test. This engine just worked harder on this dyno than John's ever going to work it in his car. I liken a dyno test to pulling the trailer up a hill with your foot flat on the floor, throttle wide open from the bottom of your RPM range to the red line. That's about as hard as you can make it work. We did that probably 15 times today. So the fact that it survived that is a commendation to the engine. It's ready to put in, it's going to be good. And it's not going to come apart as long as John keeps oil and water in it and doesn't over rev. Okay? The next thing is finding horsepower. And I mentioned Daryl Waters is a dyno operator. He's more than that. Daryl's got experience with hundreds of dyno tests, thousands of pulls. He gets a ton of data off his computer when he does the dyno. Uses that information to help us find the maximum horsepower, and we always find 10 or 20 horsepower, sometimes more than that. And when John goes home, he knows the exact timing that we need to get the ultimate power of this engine, the right size carburetor, the right size jets, all that stuff, so he knows exactly how to fine-tune this engine in the car. In fact, he doesn't have to touch it, he just has to put it in and start it up and running. So, what's the 4th reason? It's just a lot of fun, that's all. We had a good fun day here today. We've been working hard. We made lots of pulls, we made lots of changes. We went the timing from 31 to 38 and back again. We changed jets up and down 3 or 4 times, and we found the ultimate place to make power. So, and this engine is going to start running. It's a torque monster. It's going in John's 1967 Pontiac GTO. It's an original engine from that GTO, as I mentioned before. And so it's got lots of value based on that, and now it's brand new and ready to go. So let's go in the dyno room and make a pull. So John's just going to try and follow me in here. We're going to close the door. Okay. And here's Daryl. I told you Daryl Waters was the dyno operator. Here he is in real life. So we're going to look at the engine working hard and listen to it grunt and groan. As I mentioned, this engine will work harder in the dyno than it's going to work in John's car. Okay, so this will close off. This engine was built, it's basically a stock GTO engine. It's a torque monster. It's got over 430 foot-pounds of torque and 325 horsepower. But the real issue is, you know, torque and horsepower are bragging rights. The average torque and horsepower are optimized, and John's got a 4-speed GTO. He's going to be shifting when it's still revving, because it's going to be burning rubber all the way through the range. So it's going to be a fun car to drive. Thanks for watching Gold's Garage.